All right, let's talk about how to break the cycle of anxiety or worry as an HSP or an empath. Because the thing is, if you're an empath or a highly sensitive person and you're feeling a lot, you're processing a lot, you've got a lot of baggage from your past, you've been struggling with low self-esteem, low self-worth, feeling like something's wrong with you, well, there's a very good chance that that's also resulted in a lot of excess worrying and the accompanying anxiety and all of the fearful situations in life that you try to avoid that impact you. And stick around to the end as well, where I'll be offering details of a free talent assessment for those empaths and HSPs that desire to become coaches or healers, along with details of my Superhero Academy, a 2-month coaching program for those that are ready to take the next step. So here goes, guys. Anxiety and worry plagues us all. It's a terrible feeling to have that tightness in your chest, the contraction in your body, and the busy mind that keeps you up at night, that wakes you up early in the morning, that gives you that pit in your stomach that feels terrible. Why is all this happening? And how come it hasn't stopped even though you've been doing all the self-care things? Because guys, what I want to share with you today is going to sound unusual. Maybe you've never heard this before, because these are uncommon practices that you're not going to find online, because most people aren't aware that they exist. And in all the years of my coaching, this is what I've learned, and in my life, about fear and the root cause of anxiety and worry. So, guys, what I want to talk to you about today is the true nature of fear. Because the truth is, fear is an illusion. It's not real. Love is real. Fear is false. Fear is the absence of love. So fear is an emptiness. It's false evidence appearing real, is the acronym. And when we believe in the fear, when we buy into this false evidence, that text message that gives us that jolt of, oh my God, oh no, I'm going to be fired. Or, oh no, my partner's so mad at me right now. How many times have you had this experience of fear only to find out, oh wait, nothing was wrong. My boss wasn't upset with me. I wasn't about to get fired. My partner wasn't mad at me. How many times, ask yourself, has this happened? For me, it happens all the time. And this is what I want you to pay attention to. To pay attention to the truth of your life and the truth of your fear. And what I want to tell you and share with you is what I've experienced, what I've learned in my life and with my clients, which again is that fear is an illusion. And the invitation, once you start to understand this, is to face your fears, to summon the courage. Because guys, really, the antidote to anxiety and worry is courage. It's not meditation. It's not going to get a massage. It's not having a beer, trying to relax and unwind. It's not any of these things that a lot of people practice. It's not even exercise, though exercise does help. But those things are never going to address the root cause. They're going to treat the symptoms. And at this point, I'm sure you're frustrated with your attempts to treat the symptoms, only to experience the same anxiety and worry over and over again. So the root cause, again, is this emotion, this experience of fear. Fear comes from The days when we were very primitive creatures as humans. We feared the sound of a stick breaking in the woods. A tiger was going to come out and eat us. Or whatever those dangers were back then. These days, those dangers don't exist anymore. We still fear death in the same way. That anxiety, that worry, it's all connected to the fear of death. We don't want to die. We want to survive in all situations. And so our brain, our mind, and our ego is constantly scanning the environment for potential threats to our safety and survival. But don't you see how pointless this is? There are no threats. 99% of the time, you're going through life and you're getting a whiff of a threat, right? You're getting a text message that doesn't have an emoji. What does that mean? That they left the emoji out? That means they don't like you anymore. That means you're going to be shut out of the social circle. That means you're going to be on your own now. It's a whiff of these primitive fears of death. Because in that case, if you are shut out of the tribe, in primitive times, that would endanger your survival. So we want to honor and respect the fact that on some level, this experience is understandable. So forgive yourself as well for having these intense experiences of fear, sometimes panic. Because unconsciously, the mind is scared of death. So you have to know this. You have to outsmart your own mind. Because your mind, parts of your mind, are very stupid. The reptilian brain is a very primitive part of the brain. It's stupid. You have to use your conscious cerebral cortex mind to outsmart it. And here is how it works. It's a matter of facing your fears. You've heard this before. Face your fears, face your fears, face your fears. Well, why do we hear this? Why do people talk about facing your fears? Well, I'll tell you. It's your chance to discover the truth of what I'm telling you, to give yourself the evidence of that, to dissolve the fear that has been holding you back perhaps for years, keeping you trapped in your isolated cave of safety and comfort, never venturing out into the world, never really putting yourself out there, and playing small. It's time for you to face the truth, which is that there's nothing to be afraid of. Get that text message from your boss, a coworker, whatever, and then walk right into the office the next day with a clear conscience, or with anxiety. And here's the other thing about facing your fears, guys. This is not going to be a very popular thing for me to say. You're not going to like this. Because the invitation to face your fears includes an invitation to stand in the fire. That's what I call embracing the experience of fear and anxiety until it passes with courage and conviction and determination. Because it's the only way for you to find out. To walk into the office the next day with all the courage, faith, and trust that you can muster that you're going to be okay. To remember this teaching that fear is an illusion. To continuously remind yourself of all the times you felt fear, intense worry and panic over some future event maybe happening, and it not happening. I'm asking you to remember these things in the moment of fear, panic, worry, and anxiety. Because that is what is going to give you the courage and the good sense to stand in the fire. And there's something very special about this fire. This tension in the chest, this feeling of, oh God, I hope I don't get fired today. Oh, Jesus. I want you to consider this fire as a purifying, cleansing experience for you and for your spirit, for your psyche. The invitation is to burn through each and every one of these fears by standing in the fire repeatedly, with courage, with faith, with conviction, and then witnessing the truth of the situation, which is that your boss just wants to get a cup of coffee with you and talk about last week's meetings. And he's happy to chat you up about your weekend plans. He wasn't thinking about firing you. This was just an internally generated fear based upon past experiences. You also have to get really quick to understand the past memories and how they're influencing your current reality. So that's another part of it. Dig through your past and raise awareness for these sensitivities. And remember, the past is an illusion as well. It's not real. It doesn't exist. You can't touch it. There's simply a memory of something that happened. And this is no prediction of what is going to happen, unless, and here's the thing, unless you recreate the past through a self-fulfilling prophecy, where you say, with so much conviction, I'm going to get fired this week, I know it, I'm going to get fired, and you walk into the office and you're all contracted and tense, and your boss, asks you about the report that's due, and maybe you freak out on him, or you do a poor job in producing it. And yeah, maybe at that point, or after a few occasions like this, you do end up getting fired. But here's the thing, you made that happen. That was never going to happen. So stand in the fire, guys, and see what happens. I invite you to summon that courage and strength to meet your fears where they lie, and watch them dissolve right in front of your eyes. And liberate yourself from this life of smallness to a life of expansion and empowerment and freedom. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you'd like to tune in for more. And I also want to offer you an opportunity for a phone call with me, for a free talent assessment for those empaths and HSPs who have all along suspected that they have some special gifts and abilities for helping people, for holding space, for understanding how to guide or counsel someone who's struggling. Well, during this 15-minute phone call, what I want to do is help you understand whether or not you have what it takes to become a coach or a healer based upon these innate talents and needs. That's all. And for those of you who feel like you might be ready and you have what it takes to become a coach or a healer, at that point I might invite you to learn about my Superhero Academy, a 2-month coaching program where you're going to understand how to apply all of these innate talents and gifts as a coach or a healer, how to build your confidence in yourself as a powerful coach or a healer, and to understand what it takes to set up and run a successful coaching or healing practice, including understanding your niche, how to market your services and enroll clients, and everything else involved in what it's going to require. So guys, go ahead and click on the link in the description right now if you're really curious to know if you have what it takes to be a coach or a healer. I went through this process myself years ago, and it was such a blessing to recognize that, hey, this can come naturally. I don't have to spend all this time and energy on courses and trainings and this and that, when I had the goods all along. And I kind of knew it, but I wasn't really sure. you know? So if you're feeling like you kind of know it, you have an inkling, a hunch, but you're not really sure, this is an invitation to find out one way or the other. So I hope to speak with you soon, and for everyone else, stay tuned for more.